Resignation of Frank Sarver from the Public Works Department. I'll make the motion to accept his resignation.
Second.
Carl second. All in favor? Aye. Discussion and motion to approve the installation costs for Phase 2 Elrama Park and the amount of $96,252. That price includes the co-star's purchase and the installation on site. This is on to agenda item.
We had all the
Who's writing the PO, us or banks?
I would recommend that the township do it since it's your grant money. It'll look better. It'd be atypical for us to do it.
Review PO?
So we got these quotes end of October, passed them out at the last meeting. As you mentioned, Michelle, this is for purchase, delivery, and installation.
Yeah,
and
a
all
couple
the
meetings back, Suzanne gave us all different options for the park and different.
all the ancillary services, so it includes the wood timbers around the edge, the rubber mulch on the inside. Lead time, last I heard from them, was 4 to 5 weeks, but they said if they, if we need it later than that, they can hold it and we can coordinate delivery, so. We can talk about those logistics if we get that far.
The playground equipment, like this company, they don't warranty it unless they install it, correct?
Yeah, they said to me, Michelle, that all they want is a flat site to put it down. They're gonna even put the concrete in.
And they're
for it.
certified in it and everything for playground equipment.
It's my understanding, yeah.
So, we have what, 100 and what says that for the park?
You've approximately 78,000 in grant money, which requires an additional 15% match, and you have money back from phase 1, I understand.
Yeah, we dedicated 50,000 and last year we dedicated the 50,000 coming back from phase 1 to phase 2.
Right.
So the excess cost, that can be used on like activity fees and stuff like that? Is that grant, why don't we use the grant money for the playground equipment, use the 50 towards that?
Yeah, you'll be able to draw down the full grant amount.
Okay, good. I never want to get any of it back.
Don't want to do that. We can avoid it.
So, who wants to make the motion to approve the purchase and installation costs for phase 2 Elrama Park?
I'll make the motion.
Any second?
I'll second.
Carl second. Any other discussion? Good. All in favor? Aye.
So Michelle, before we move on, one last thing on that, we should maybe add that to the list of stuff to talk about with Ken when we sit down with him to make sure we're in position to be ready for them when they have our equipment ready.
Okay.
TJ, we'll issue the PO, will you write the PO with the details and commitments?
Yeah, we can help out with it, yeah.
So, motion to advertise a hearing date for the tiny house ordinance. So this is a motion to make the expenditure to advertise, it's not approving the ordinance. Anyone want to make a motion?
So moved.
John, I'll second.
This is a modification of our zoning ordinance. So we'll need to have that ordinance advertised and comply with the MPC. I'm assuming, Tammy, you can handle that?
Yes. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Discussion and motion to approve resolution for disposal of duplicate / excess records pursuant to the Municipal Records Act of 1968. So, the back room where the computer security company is working, there was multiple documents that were all the same. So in most of the cases, you have a list there of what we would like to dispose of, and how many of that same item we're keeping. So there is nothing getting disposed of that we're not keeping at least 3 of. Destroy 6, keep 3, destroy 3. So they were either planning commission members or something that didn't take their copies home. When anybody does a subdivision or so forth in this community, how many did they bring? 8, 10. So they bring 10 copies of these big rolls of big plans, and so there was only 3 members on the planning commission back in 22, and 2 of them were also supervisors, so they got 2 copies, one got back here. So we just ended up with ton of extra plans. So the resolution would be to start the procedure to dispose of those records. But there is a list attached to the board members of what they are. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for disposal of the duplicate excess records on the list. Any second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Motion to affirm the advertising of the proposed budget for 2025. I'll make a motion to affirm the advertising of the proposed budget. Any second? Carl second. All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and motion, letter of support for Peters Creek Sanitary CIPP project formerly tabled at the last meeting. So we got a little bit more clarification from Tanya and Rick at Peters Creek Sanitary about the letter of support. We had already signed it at that meeting and then tabled it because we were a bit confused on some of the, I think we had some questions. Does anyone still have any questions? Still got any questions? I'm gonna make a motion to take it off the table then.
I'll second.
Seconds to take off the table. All in favor, taking it
Aye.
off the table?
Aye.
Okay. Anyone wanna make a motion to do a letter of support for Peters Creek Sanitary's?
Is that in? Item N,
Item L.
item L, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Does anyone wanna make a motion to write a letter of support for Peters Creek Sanitary CIPP project?
Should I vote on this one?
I just, yeah, I don't have a problem with that, just a support.
Anyone?
I'll make the motion.
Any second?
Second.
Okay, John, Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Discussion and motion to purchase the yearly renewal of our QuickBooks, upgrade to enterprise version, which is for 2 users. In the amount of $1,886. So, a large portion of that is just, the every 2-year update to QuickBooks. The additional is to have 2 users be able to use it at one time versus only one person being
I'll
able to.
make that motion. Second.
Okay, Carl and Larry. Oh, sorry, backwards, Larry and Carl.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and motion to approve the resolution for Peters Creek Sanitary CIPP project. Anyone have any more discussion on that item?
No.
Everybody's pretty clear now?
Sam,
Should I vote?
go ahead.
Okay, so there's no other discussion on that item. Anyone wanna make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Any seconds?
Second.
So Carl and Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Discussion and motion, Scarmazy Homes bond reduction request number 5.
So, beginning of the month, we received another the fifth, bond reduction request. Earlier, Scarmese had transitioned their sequestered account to a traditional performance bond with the values being preserved. So, as we know, since we took over a couple of the roads in the plan earlier during this meeting, they've completed all of their work and their obligations in their developer's agreement for the initial subdivision work, which was Hidden Hollow Road, and more work associated with their grading permit, and then the remaining work associated with phase one. So our office prepared a letter dated November 4th. We reviewed the bond reduction request. We don't have any concerns with it, so our recommendation at this point is to approve their bond reduction request. Number 5, which decreases the amounts held for the initial subdivision in phase 1 down to 0, since no more work remains there. They are preserving approximately $150,000 in the performance bond for the balance of work that they have to do in phase 2. And that work is justified by their engineer's cost estimate for the remaining improvements. So I have no problems with this, and we'd recommend that you approve it. Unless there's any questions.
Anyone else have any questions for TJ?
No.
So, any motion for, reducing the Scarmese?
I'll make the motion, Michelle.
I'll second.